What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Recently, Embark, the developers of Arc Raiders, have referred to Arc Raiders as a 10-year game, and this is so much bigger than a lot of people realize, and I want to kind of go down this rabbit hole and go a little bit deeper into this and explain to you guys what this truly means and what Arc Raiders actually could become. I have written down an insane amount of notes to talk about in this video, so you guys are really going to enjoy it. But real quick, before we do that, I'm actually going to be giving away 2 free copies of Arc Raiders on launch night on my stream. So go follow me over there, kick.com/hammerdance. We are a partnered Kick streamer, and we are giving away 2 copies of Arc Raiders on launch day. So drop a follow over there, but let's get into this video. So what does a 10-year game actually mean, right? And what could it really look like for Arc Raiders? So the first thing that I wrote down here is that this is going to be like a long-term live service vision for this game, right? And what that means is that a 10-year game typically means continuous updates, right? New content, seasons, live events, everything that just keeps players returning year after year. So for Arc Raiders, that could mean that we get maybe seasonal arcs, right? New enemy invasions or world events or biome changes. Think Fortnite. That's what I'm kind of thinking of here. Think about how Fortnite has had all the events over the years, the map changes, new enemies, all this kind of stuff. I'm assuming that's what they mean by that. And it makes sense, right? It's kind of like this living world where the zones maybe evolve, structures change, new threats emerge, things like that. It's going to be ongoing balance updates, new weapons, progression tweaks. I think stuff like that really does fit in a game like this. They tried, they said we created like this world and this universe. And I think that that's really important to note that they said that because, again, I'm going to refer to Fortnite. I know Fortnite has run its course, but for its time, it did this, right? It was a 10-year game, in quotes. It had continuous updates. It had new content, new seasons. Everything changed. The map changed. I can see that happening in Arc Raiders. Maybe, seasonal things like holiday-themed things, maybe Halloween events, Christmas events, New Year's events, 4th of July events, things like that. Everything that makes these games really feel like it's this living world, I could see Embark actually doing that. Number 2 on my list, though, is modular and expandable game systems, right? A true 10-year game is built to grow. The foundation, the gameplay, engine, backend, it must be able to handle future expansions, and they've actually said that they're ready for that. We know that the game is running on the Unreal 5 engine, so that tech could definitely allow Embark to add new biomes, procedural elements, and visual fidelity over time without needing a sequel, right? So it can just be patched into this game, basically as expansions or massive updates. Systems like loot rarity, raids, world events, AI behavior, it can all evolve over time. It's pretty modular, which is a massive selling point for Arc. The devs can just drop major expansions without fragmenting the entire game or player base. We could even go as far to say as they can expand the entire universe and not just the maps in the game, right? 10 years isn't just about keeping the same map fresh, it's about expanding the world and the story. For Arc Raiders, that could mean new planets or war zones. Since the setting hints at a wider sci-fi dystopian universe, there could just be completely new planets that we go to at some point in time, right? Story-driven expansions to the game that can reveal who or what the Raiders actually are, maybe their backstories and things like that. Maybe there's different factions of Raiders hanging out on different parts of the world or in different planets, etc. Potential spin-offs or shared universe crossovers with other projects like the Finals, right? Maybe we could have a Finals crossover at some point. There's so much they can do expanding this universe. There's already been hints that the Finals and Arc Raiders are connected, right? Now, one of the best things about Arc Raiders is that it already has like a sustainable progression loop. Long-term games need that. It needs to go deep and it needs to be rewarding and just kind of endlessly be expandable for it to live for a long time, which would kind of fit that 10-year model, right? For Arc Raiders, a balance between gear grind and skill expression is a massive point. Horizontal progression, right? Different play styles, builds, and specializations, rather than just higher gear scores on your gear and a meta talent build. They can do some horizontal progression in the game that actually expands its life as well. The periodic resets or the expeditions to keep veterans engaged while letting new players, jump in and catch up and not be super behind. A meaningful endgame maybe in the future we get some raids, some new PvE zones in these maps, faction wars, etc. And that kind of ties into what I was saying. Maybe in the future there's different factions of raiders, you know, going to the surface to scavenge for supplies and try and survive. We don't know really where this could go. We're very early in this. And for them to say that it's a 10-year game really makes this exciting because they can do so much. But one of the most important things about a 10-year game is that the community is the long-term content engine, and I think Embark knows this, right? A 10-year plan needs transparent roadmaps, dev communication, which we have gotten so far. I think they're actually going to be releasing a post-launch roadmap very soon, they said. Player-driven updates, right? Responding to Reddit, Discord, content creators, you know, just listening to the community and gauging how things are and making changes based on that. Mod support or community events to keep engagement high between updates, right? Maybe they run some fun events with the communities. Developer trust and transparency is another big one, right? Players need to believe the vision is not just a marketing gimmick, which I don't think any of us do. I think if you've played any of the tests for Arc Raiders, you really can see the love and passion that has gone into this game from Embark. It truly is amazing. But here's one that a lot of people don't really like to talk about, especially gamers, right? A sustainable monetization model, right? And I wrote this down because every long-term live service game needs support and requires funding to continue. A lot of people don't like to accept this, but it is the truth. For Arc Raiders, which is not free to play, it costs $40 for the base game, does require this as well, right? Future DLCs, maybe battle pass seasons, cosmetics, these are all going to be the way that the game is supported and funded so that you can get these live service updates over the next 10 plus years. I know it's something that for some reason for gamers, it's hard to swallow that, you know, every game has a battle pass and cosmetics and microtransactions and things like that now. But as long as they're not game breaking and they don't make the game pay to win, this is a way for the developers to get ongoing funding and support. And it's not, you don't need to do it. It's optional. So these things do need to be in the game for the game to be supported and develop over the next 10 years. I personally think it's a good thing. Now, this one I wrote down, but it's going to be a little bit controversial, right? And that's going to be competitive longevity. For extraction shooters staying relevant, it means evolving against the competition, right? You got Tarkov, Dark and Darker. We got Marathon coming out, but Marathon's in a weird spot. I never played it, so I don't really know what to talk about it, but apparently it was not received very well at all in the last test. But, who knows? Maybe they'll change up, and maybe when Marathon comes closer to release, people are going to be enjoying that. Arc Raiders needs to be able to compete with that to achieve that longevity of a 10-year game, and that's going to be something really important. Maybe they need to add new modes to the game, maybe arena modes, maybe some co-op defense missions, something, different. Give different styles and different ways for people to enjoy the game. Again, if this is a whole universe, think Fortnite, right? Fortnite has had a million different game modes come out that were extremely popular. And it's something that could potentially work in the future for Arc Raiders as well. Maybe even ranked systems or live tournaments. These things are huge, and they really do add to that longevity and help it become that 10-plus year game. Crossovers and collaborations, again, that is something that I wanted to keep, kind of reiterating on. This is something that in our, culture currently in gaming is very popular and works really, really well. So I do think maybe in the future they should think about doing stuff like that. And honestly, the last thing I wrote down is just next-gen scalability, which I think they've got covered with the Unreal Engine 5, right? They've mentioned that they want to be, PlayStation 6 generation and beyond, which signals that Embark is, a forward-thinking infrastructure when it comes to development. I think that they are ready for that, cloud-based architecture for dynamic world events and things like that, cross-platform support, which they already have, and they can evolve that into the newer console generations, and kind of future-proof graphics and physics updates, right? They have Unreal Engine 5, it's going to be very possible for them to make this that 10-plus year game. So these are just some of my thoughts and opinions on how this could be possible and what I think may actually happen. And if you agree or disagree, drop some comments down below and let me know. Come hang out over on my stream at kick.com/hammerdance. We're partnered over on Kick. We stream there Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, I'm doing a giveaway on launch night, October 30th. We'll be live all day giving away 2 copies of Arc Raiders to 2 lucky viewers, so come hang out over there. I'll link my stream in a pinned comment down below. And subscribe to the channel if you love FPS games, extraction shooters, and battle royales as much as I do. I've been a YouTuber now for 10 years. I just started this 3rd channel because I wanted to just have something where I could talk about these games that I love. So this channel channel is purely just a passion project. If you enjoy the content, subscribe. I'm going to be putting out a ton of stuff on Arc Raiders, the Tarkov 1.0 launch, all that stuff, everything that I'm interested in. So sounds good to you, subscribe. If not, whatever, that's fine too. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.